Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Everyone knows that my biological parents gave up their parental rights when I was about 5 or 6. After that time, I went into a foster home and was abused. I was whipped with electrical cords. I was hit with vacuum cleaners. I was asked to go in the yard and pick the thickest, biggest tree limb I could find so that I may go back to my adoptive home to get hit with the switch. And I really did not like it there. I remember waking up one morning pretty early, and this is after my mother parental rights was taken away. It was raining and she was piercing through my bedroom window. I thought it was a dream. I got up to go to the bathroom and there was my biological mother, my abuser, standing there right in front of me. Most of you who know that after your rights are terminated, you usually do not see your child again. But in that case, I did, and I was face to face with the person that hurt me so much. I didn't know what to do. Eventually, I think she got her hair together and cleaned up, and then eventually left. Uh, and at that foster home, I ended up running away quite a few times and got the police called on me. And I would always hide when the police got there because I was afraid of what they would do. If anything, I was afraid of where I would go. But I was given back to the county care and was placed into a facility for orphan children who were either in transition to be adopted or transition to foster care. And I actually liked that place. It was a very nice place. I got to meet a lot of nice people. They did a lot of nice things for us there. And after my time there, I was put into a foster home, and I loved it. I had caring, loving parents, Sheila Harris and Ricky Harris, and I really, like I said, really enjoyed my time there and felt special. They had 4 or 5 other children, but I always felt happy at that home and felt like I was a part of something. But by the time that I was 9 and a half, all of that stopped. I was given back to the state. I was taken into the custody by a police officer who then took me to a government-run facility called GMHI. And while I was there, I went through a lot of behavioral issues, wondering why I was there, why I didn't have a family, why I didn't feel loved or wanted. A lot of self-esteem issues rose up while I was there, and I was abused in that facility. When I would act out, I remember one day in particular that I was picked up and thrown into the isolation room. Isolation room is where they put you when you act up. And there was another instance where one of the nurses that worked at night I believe her name was Nancy. Uh, the floor was on a lockdown, and we were not allowed to leave our rooms. And I had to use the bathroom, and I kept knocking on my door. She came to my door, and I told her I had to go to the bathroom, and she told me that was too bad, that we were on lockdown and that I had to remain in my room. So I went into my room, I opened up a dresser drawer, and I went to the bathroom. The facility did not have good circulation of air, and my bedroom started to stink. So I ended up using a blanket to clean out the mess that I had made in my dresser. And of course, I did not use my dresser after that. Um, After 6 months, they took me out of that facility and placed me into another place called Laurel Heights. I was there for about a year and a half. I went through second grade there. I went through third grade there. And I was abused there as well. For punishment and for acting out, they would wrap you in bed sheets. Like, I would be wrapped up in 5 or 6 sheets, kind of like a caterpillar who scoots along on the floor and was unable to stand. And I just felt that it wasn't right, that we were being mistreated. And another thing that one of the employees did was they would put you in the corner and they would take their hand and push into the back of your elbow. And if you try doing that, you can see that it hurts. Well, we would scream and holler and ask them to stop, and they continued. So I had people who notified different people about the situation, but nothing was ever done about it. So after a year and a half of being in that facility, I was in and out of foster homes. One in particular that I did like, she was a single parent. She was a teacher in elementary school, and I remember liking her and loving her as a mom. And for whatever reason, things didn't work out, and she gave me back to the state. And by that time, I was wondering what I did to deserve to not be loved by someone and why they were giving me away. By the time I was 11 or 12, I was introduced to this family, and it started off with them taking me out for outings, and I guess to develop a rapport with them and to see if I liked them. And I ended up staying with them. And while I was in that hospital, Laurel Heights, I can recall one situation where I looked out the window and told the Lord all I wanted was a family to love me. And by the time I was 11 or 12, I was placed into a therapeutic foster home. And I stayed there for about a month or two, and to see how things would work out. And to my surprise, I ended up staying there. So my 4th, 5th, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade year, I remained in that foster home, until I was in 8th grade when I was finally adopted by this family. One thing they told me is no matter what I did, they would never turn their back on me. I had a lot of behavior problems. I wondered why these people wanted me, why I was the one that was being loved on, why I was the one who they were wanting to be with. And during that time, my adopted parents, which I call my parents today, of course, my adopted mom has passed away since, I believe, 2012 or 2011. But before that time, they adopted 2 more children with special needs. And I remember thinking to myself, these people aren't like me, but I sure do love their company. And I learned a lot from them. How not to be judgmental, how not to make fun of people who are different than me or who looked different than I did. And when I was in middle school, I think my first 6th grade year at Snellville Middle, I was being bullied by this guy named Mark Wachowski. He would flick me on the back of the ear like 5 or 10 times, and I would just sit there and let him do it to me. And I guess most of you who know my videos and who have watched me before know I was physically abused when I was a child. So that feeling felt normal to me for whatever weird reason, but I got tired of it, and I never felt like I fit in with anybody. I was always the quiet one. I was so reserved. I was scared to talk to people because I thought I would get rejected and that nobody would want to have anything to do with me. But as I got older, I have developed better relationships with other people. I have learned how to deal with people who are different than myself. And I wouldn't change any of that for anything. Everything that I went through, I believe I went through so I would be able to help other people overcome situations that they might be having a hard time with. With that said, I would like to end this video and remind you to please subscribe to my channel. And hey, I would love to hear from you, so if you wouldn't mind leaving your comments below and tell me what you think, how the video has helped you, if I have helped you, or what I should work on. So with that in mind, I would like to close my video, and I hope everyone has a great day.